before explaining this, let's talk about the cognitive model. Now, how observational learning leads to the belief system also. Like when we were sitting there during the tea break, I heard both of you saying that she is very quiet girl, Sida Bacha. We were talking on those lines for the child. Now, what happens during childhood? All these messages are conveyed to kids in many ways. कि ये बड़ा इंटेलिजेंट है, ये थोड़ा सा सीधा है, ये थोड़ा सा तेज है, ये क्लेवर है, ये मैथ्स बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, ये मैथ्स नहीं अच्छा कर रहा है. So the child is getting all these messages, and the child starts imbibing this in his own internal system. He starts making his own belief system based on the messages which we give. I had one child a few years back. She till 10th she was barely used to pass. Every time we had to make her sit for the retest. So it was a tendency, and I was quite tense that how will I help the child in class 12 because there cannot be any retest for two subjects. So class 10 got over, class 11. Parents wanted her to take up commerce and she wanted to take up humanities, so there was a big tussle. So somehow parents were convinced and she took up humanities, so she took up psychology also, so I got a chance to interact with her more and I was very happy about it. So I started interacting with her more, so I got to know that mother always keeps on repeating this in front of everyone, especially during the exams and after the exam. किसके एग्जाम्स आ रहे हैं, तो भूल जाती है, इससे लर्न नहीं होता है, 11th में कैसे होगा, बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा, all that conversation was going on. So I started dealing with the child and I started telling her that you are capable of doing blah blah blah, whatever, positive messages. A lot of positive messages were given to her, and in class 11th final exam, she was in first three, like she was third in the class. And nobody could believe it, neither I. So during the open day, parents come and I was so happy, that this child has performed so well in class 11th, and everybody was wondering कि retest में कैसे बिठाएंगे. So I called the child also. I wanted to reward the child in front of the parents so that the whole ambience is there. So as soon as I said it, the mother rejected the whole idea of appreciation. She said, क्या मैम ह्यूमैनिटीज ग्रुप है, ह्यूमैनिटीज ग्रुप में क्या होता है, थोड़े से आगे ज़्यादा तो क्या हो गया, मतलब total rejection. And the child just left at that time, and after that she cried and cried. She said, my mom is never going to be happy. But again that thing was done. So in 12th she was in first 5 in CBSE board. Even if you are in first 5, that's very good. Then she joined some BCA and MCA. She topped there. So what change we did? We just changed the message which she was getting from the environment. Of course, I had to work with the mother a lot, father a lot, so that their messaging system also changed. And today she is the head of the department in the same school in computers. So and I felt that she still says that Masi, you were the only one who changed my life. So, and I keep wondering कि मैंने तो ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं किया. But that message, that one belief which I gave her, and she started believing in that, and she started coming up to that level. She started believing that I can control my life. Self-efficacy.
I will give you one example. अभी उसके परिणाम क्या होंगे तो मुझे पता नहीं है. But yesterday I conveyed my best wishes for a boy who has just completed his law. I'm sitting in for a competitive exam today. It is his first exam. So I gave best wishes message, and then he wrote back, चाचा सिर्फ आप ही हैं जिन्होंने मुझको बेस्ट wishes का मैसेज दिया. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं है, अगर मैंने ही दिया है तो ये गोल्स हैं जो तुमको करने हैं, and you be on it. अब उसके परिणाम क्या होंगे तो पता नहीं, लेकिन हर बच्चा या हर अब वो बच्चा तो नहीं ना बड़ा हो गया, अभी भी उसको ये आशा है कि कोई मुझे बेस्ट विशेस बोलेगा. अब माँ घर में शायद चम्मच दही और चीनी नहीं खिलाती होगी, लेकिन यही दही और चीनी के लिए मैसेज
I think that concept might have started with these associations only. कि वो एक confidence आ जाता है कि मेरी mother ने खिला दिया तो मेरे साथ अच्छा ही होगा. और अगर कुछ गलत हो जाए तो हम सोचना शुरू कर देते हैं आज ऐसा क्या नहीं हुआ.
हाँ ये मनोविज्ञान वो एक चम्मच चीनी क्या होना
सारे एसोसिएशन बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई तो नहीं जाना है. किसी के साथ हो सकता है कभी कुछ गलत हुआ हो उसके बाद ये धारणा ही बन गई कि ऐसा होगा कुछ गलत ही होगा. हम इतने बड़े हो गए आज तक 1 for sorrow में बिलीव करते हैं. 1 for sorrow and जबकि मतलब इतना लॉजिकल एंड ऑल दैट बट बाय चांस कुछ होता ही है. अब इट्स सुपरस्टिशन बट you know we start scanning the environment for something bad क्योंकि माइंड में कहीं होता है कि आज मैंने मन में सॉरो देखा था तो हम ढूंढ ही निकालेंगे. अब पूरे दिन में कुछ ना कुछ तो नेगेटिव होगा ही कुछ पॉजिटिव भी होगा. उस दिन हम पॉजिटिव को इग्नोर कर देते हैं अपनी कन्वीनियंस के हिसाब से नेगेटिव पे ध्यान दे देते हैं. द सेम थिंग हैपेंस विद द चाइल्ड बिकॉज वो पहले इतना एंग्शियस है एंजाइटी में परफॉर्मेंस डाउन चली गई वो पढ़ नहीं पाया जो भी था मार्क्स कम आए उसे स्कोल्डिंग मिली तो उसका बिलीफ बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाता है. देखा मेरे से तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं होता. देखा माय पेरेंट्स डोंट लव मी. सो दैट बिलीफ सिस्टम वी कॉल इट एज कॉग्निटिव डिस्टॉर्शन. तो पूरी रियलिटी को बिल्कुल डिस्टॉर्टेड वे में ही परसीव करेंगे because they say that it is not the situation as per se which gives you a feeling or a thought. It is the way you perceive it. Your perspective about the situation leads to certain feelings and certain thoughts. एक लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने एक स्टोरी शेयर किया था रिलेटेड टू मैथ्स. मैथ्स में हम क्या पर्सपेक्टिव की बात करेंगे. सो दिस इज अ प्राइमरी स्कूल class going on and the teacher is teaching the concept of addition, right? So the teacher says he is trying to talk to one particular child and says कि okay now you have these 2 apples. The teacher gives 2 apples. Now you have these 2 apples. Now suppose if I give you one more apple, how many apples will you have? So the child thinks for a while and says 4. So says no. So you know she is trying to be more compassionate, more affectionate. Acha bachche, if I give you 2 apples and see teacher has one more apple, I keep this on your table. Now how many apples you have? Again, it's 4. So she repeats 3-4 times and then she also gets irritated. So then she feels, okay, which fruit you like best? So he says strawberry. Okay, now suppose you have 2 strawberries and I give you one more strawberry. Now how many strawberries you have? 3. The teacher feels so relieved. Thank God he has learned the concept of addition. Chalo strawberries he seekhne do, but you know something is troubling the teacher, right? Why is he not able to say with apple? So again she says, okay, similarly, now suppose you have 2 apples, I give you one more apple. Now how many apples you have? Again he says 4. So now analysis of error. Now she asks, why you are saying 3 in that case and 4 in this case? The child slowly bends down and takes out one apple from his bag and says, I already have one in my bag. So sometimes even addition subtraction can have a perspective.
एक ऐसी बहुत मजेदार मजाक वाली चीज थी कि किसी टीचर को राष्ट्रपति बना दिया गया. हमारे यहाँ बन भी चुकी है बहुत सारे. तो वो बोले कितनी तनख्वाह होगी? 1 लाख रुपए तनख्वाह होगी. तो वो जो टीचर थे वो बने वो बोले ना ये तो ज्यादा होगी. उन्होंने कैसे दे मैं ट्यूशन भी तो लूंगा. बच्चे के पास भी एप्पल एक है रखा हुआ है ट्यूशन का. उसकी तो आमदनी ज्यादा होगी. Perspective.
It's not the boundary conditions of the problem. You have to give the boundary conditions. You have to open-ended.
So actually, in a way, we have talked about all this. So, this is now I will talk about different techniques from here and there, and I think we can go back. I left certain techniques in the beginning, and now we can talk about what strategies can be used based on this CBT model to deal with math phobia. So let's go back to the behavioral. So when we are saying CBT, that means we need to deal with the behavior as well as the cognition. as we were discussing, that it is not only by changing the belief system कि नहीं नहीं बच्चे तुम कर दोगे, I trust you, I have full confidence, and and we say कि तुम बस positive सोचते रहो और practice मत करो, ऐसा हो नहीं सकता. So both the things have to be taken care of. So let's first look at the behavioral aspect. So when we talk about the behavioral aspect, it's if the child is not performing well in maths, then it's always better to give him small tasks. So maybe the whole unit can be broken down into different chapters, or maybe the whole book can be broken down into different units, depending on how much the child is able to handle comfortably. So those units should be decided in with the discussion with the child. So suppose in a particular chapter, say triangles, there are different 1.3, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So maybe we can take only one chapter at once, and we can give a small kind of test to the child, and as soon as the child is able to master that particular small task, we should be able to reward the child. Rewarding can be anything. It may be that yes, now you have understood the concept, or maybe just saying a good, or I don't know. It all depends on the age of the child and what is important for the child. If I say कि अच्छा इतना कर लोगे तो I will give you a chocolate, and the child is not at all interested, that is not a reward. So it depends what the child values. Accordingly, the reward system can be based. So those small success, those small sense of accomplishments are very important. So the child gains that confidence that yes, I will be able to do. And slowly and gradually we should increase the complexity. When I say complexity, that means after a certain stage, give him a test paper which has questions from all the 4 chapters, a mixed question, because a question paper will be a mixed question, right? So this will give him some kind of practice that how to deal with different types of questions on the same page, right? Don't procrastinate. This is a very common behavior which I have seen in kids, because they find maths difficult, so they keep on postponing it. कि अच्छा कल कर लूँगा, कल से पक्का शुरू कर दूँगा. So we have to motivate the child that how things should be tackled there and then only. So no procrastination. So right now we are not talking about the academic gaps and all. We are assuming that this is only math phobia, right? Speak out the steps while solving mathematical problems. Sometimes it helps a lot, because many a times, as far as our mind is concerned, when we are thinking, we can think very fast, faster than we can write. And while talking to you, maybe I had already gone to some place and met my son. I've already done that, and you didn't come to know about it, right? So mind is very fast. So and sometimes some kids, especially who have some kind of ADHD or something, they get very easily distracted. So when they speak out the steps, what they are saying, so they are listening to it also. So first of all, it will reduce the chances of being distracted. Secondly, many times when we read our own answers, we can realize our mistakes, right? So when they are listening, so sometimes by listening only they realize that which step they have gone wrong. Because it's again a very common mistake which they do, that 5 plus 4 is 9. Oh sorry, 8. So they will not write the correct answer. Maybe they will copy down the number wrongly, or 1 plus 2 भी 4 लिख देंगे. Careless mistakes. So those careless mistakes will reduce if they speak out whatever they are writing. Now they cannot do it during the exam, where all the 30 kids are sitting, but maybe they can practice it at home. Because once that habit of writing the correct answers is made, they will get that confidence. And if they get that confidence, the mistakes automatically will get reduced. Otherwise, they go to the examination hall with the assumption and with the belief that I'm going to end up making careless mistakes again. Check your handwriting. This I have seen in my own son. He was all of a sudden he started getting low marks after 6, depending on whatever experience he had with the teacher. So when I started analyzing his papers, I felt these careless mistakes. where 5 was copied as 8 or 6 or something. So I just told him one simple strategy. I said you start writing a little bigger because you used to write small. If your confidence नहीं होगा ना, you can actually read the handwriting. वो जहाँ confidence नहीं होगा, I could clearly see his notebooks and I used to ask him कि आज तुम कुछ सोच रहे थे homework करते हुए? Yes mama. आज तुम्हारा ध्यान यहीं पर था? Yes mama. Handwriting will tell you. So when I saw his papers, I said, what was going on in your mind while you were doing these papers? Nothing, because he had already started building up this thing that again I will end up making mistakes. So I just told him one thing, that you start writing a little bigger. 5 भी लिखना है, प्लस साइन भी लगाना है, तो थोड़ा बड़ा बड़ा लिखो. So हमने एक पेपर बड़ा बड़ा लिखा, क्योंकि हम तब 7th में थे, हमने सुन भी लिया. So and in that marks improved drastically. Why? Because he was writing so in such shabby manner, and वो इतना छोटा छोटा लिखा था, ऊपर से confidence नहीं है. So he was copying. In the next line only he was copying wrong. So but when he started writing a little bigger, those careless mistakes reduced drastically, and so marks improved. So sometimes these small things also need to be taken care. Cognitive, behavioral, if we have dealt with, and behavior, I would also like to add, of course, they need to do practice. So we have to see, many times I do ask students कि आप कितनी practice करते हो maths में? तो इससे पहले कि बच्चा बोले, पेरेंट बोलता है कि मैम ये तो पढ़ता है. So behavior needs to be, he needs to be told that you need to have daily targets. If you need to do 10 questions per day, you need to do 10 questions per day. So sometimes in school environment, sometimes you need to be a little strict कि अच्छा कल के तुम रोज के 10 questions मुझे दिखाओगे. Sometimes in school environment you need to do that, but that helps because the child gets that habit. So maybe by changing behavior, we need to change that thought system and the feeling system, because वो 10 questions पूरी करके लाएगा, I will also appreciate, I will give a feedback to the parent कि ये रोज कर रहा है, अच्छी बात है, he will get a positive feedback from, so he will start feeling nice कि चलो maths करके भी nice भी feel हो सकता है. So then the thought system changes. Okay, I can do it because I'm doing 10 questions per day. That means I'm capable of doing it. So automatically it is a vicious cycle. So it will start influencing each other. So now we need to deal with the belief system also. Now first we need to identify the negative thoughts and thinking patterns which makes him upset. For example, there's a very normal conversation which I start with kids whenever they come with any kind of phobia or any kind of examination anxiety also. That what are you thinking at that time? So many a times children are not aware, they are not able to answer this question. कि एग्जाम में लिख रहा हूँ, उस समय मैं बोले कि what will I think? He's not able to answer. And the moment I will say, were you thinking that after this exam you will not be able to write well and you will get low marks? Yes, ma'am. So they don't even identify their belief system. They don't even know that they are thinking so negatively because they believe कि मैं तो कर ही नहीं सकता ना, मैं इसमें सोचने वाली क्या बात है. So we need to identify what is troubling the child. Is it that he feels that he will not be able to perform as his father has performed earlier, or his father is a maths professor, or he will not be, or he's not capable enough, or I will again end up making mistakes, careless mistakes, or I use a different pattern of solving problems and my teacher expects something different. What is the thinking system, what is the belief system going on in the child's mind? And you will see that many a time the child is more worried about the performance and the scolding which is going to be followed, rather than the question paper itself, rather than the maths problem itself. Right? So once we identify what is the thought, the negative thought, then we need to tell the child that what could be the more positive thought which can replace this negative thought. So I tell them, I said, even if you need to tell yourself verbally, tell yourself, I will do my best. Just this. Don't think about कि मैं फिर से कोई mistake ना कर दूँ, फिर से डांट पड़ेगी. उस समय वो इसी उलझन में फंसे रहते हैं जब वो क्वेश्चन पेपर भी कर रहे होते हैं. note it down because they are not even aware of it. What could be the positive thought replacing it? Write it down in the form of positive affirmation and read it every day. It is like a medicine, and it works. I tell them that you write a positive affirmation. जो भी उनका negative thought है, maybe the negative thought is more like not about my performance, about scolding by my parent. So I tell them to write a positive affirmation related to that and stick it somewhere in the room and just see it every day. So that also gives them a lot of boost. It may seem कि writing कैसे दिखेगा, but all of you must have experienced that if you start listening to a sad song, you start feeling a little sad. The moment you listen to something very happy song, you feel happy, right? So even reading a positive thought, a positive belief, will bring that positivity inside the child.
So I think little day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. So far, ये सब करता था positive.
Okay, I've never done that.
Very famous sentence.
Okay, and then like that in which way you have today, or which way this is what positive I want to do, or what makes me happy, or why I was happy today. You can just to the child. Yes. So here it is just an example that how CBT works. So it says you have had a bad day, feel fed up, so go out shopping. As you walk down the road, someone you know walks by and apparently ignores you. Now this basically explains that how a perspective sometimes shapes up the whole thing. So now how will you interpret this situation? Suppose if it happens with you. If it happens with me, my first thought will be, should I ignore Margaret? No? And I will start to, even if your principal or your in charge doesn't reply you back of good morning, you start thinking कि क्या हो गया आज मैम ने good morning का जवाब नहीं दिया. And within those few seconds you can think 10 stories that what must have happened, that why she has not replied back. So same thing happens that in any this kind of situation, how thoughts, feelings, and behavior, how a perspective, which kind of perspective is helpful and which is unhelpful. This is just an example. So the thoughts could be she ignored me, they don't like me. Now this can be changed to I can always change my habit of looking at things. So she looks a bit wrapped up in themselves. I wonder if there is something wrong. This I actually apply to myself. If something like this happens, then I try to see, what could be the reason. Oh, actually she was talking to some other teacher and she was totally engrossed in that. So maybe she has not noticed. If I was at her place, maybe I would have done the same. Emotional feeling, you feel low, sad, and rejected. Helpful will be, you can change it. You're concerned for the other person. I hope she's fine. Maybe she's in a bad mood. She is not feeling good about, happy about something, and she just ignored. She just did not notice me only. The physical, when you are anxious, like in case of phobia also, like somebody was discussing that as soon as exams are there, some students, they have stomach cramps, they feel lethargic, they feel sick just before the exam. So the helpful attitude, actually believing in it that I'm fine. Even if exams are coming, I'm fine. Sometimes you really need to force yourself because the way you think, it influences your bodily processes. Even if you have high BP or high blood sugar, but if you start relaxing and you start visualizing that as if your blood sugar level is coming down, your BP is coming down, it will actually come down. It affects your body instantly, right? So action could be anything. Now it is our choice. How do we react to a particular situation? You can go home and avoid them. That next time I'm not going to wish her because she did not respond. Or get in touch to make sure, just give a call. What happened in the morning? You were looking a little hassled. Is everything fine? So So CBT, as far as CBT is concerned, not only related to math phobia, but in a day-to-day life, it is also very helpful. And many times, by giving these simple examples, teacher can be told, a parent can be told, or a child can be told that how if you change your thought system, if you change your behavior. Now, behavior, I also mean to say the body language. Our body language speaks a lot about us. So if we are sitting very confidently, there are less chances that we are going to feel sad. So body language of being confident and feeling sad or being scared in a class is different. Our body language changes if we are comfortable in a particular class with a particular teacher. We sit in a more relaxed way. But as soon as the teacher comes who is very strict, our body language changes, right? I think we have already discussed about this. Uh, I will quickly go through all the steps which we technically try to apply CBT in our day-to-day life. So first, it's very important to identify what thoughts, feelings, and behaviors we are talking about. So as I said, many times students are not able to express their emotions also. It's not they are denying, but they are not even aware, that something is happening. Because they will keep saying, no ma'am, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine. They're having some physical problem every time before maths exam, but still they will keep saying I'm perfectly fine. Because many times, although there is a lot of awareness and a lot of people are approaching to counselors and psychologists, but still there will be a few percentage of students who don't want to show that they need help, right? So what thoughts, images, what was the situation, what was the distressing emotion? Now this is basically in general. And especially if you're talking about maths phobia, it's very, very important to ask them, how do you feel that time? You feel anxious or scared of the scolding? Or you're anxious about your own performance? Or you feel incapable? How do you feel? And what are you thinking at that particular time? That is very, very important. This is for us. If we are helping a child, then we should know how thoughts, feelings, and behavior are linked to each other. Making changes. Sometimes, I ask students only. Okay, suppose if your friend is facing the same, because sometimes you can't say some certain things directly to the child because in counseling we always say it should be non-direct. So I always tell them, अच्छा अगर friend के साथ ऐसा हो तो तुम क्या करोगे? They get their answers. So you don't need to speak out anything; they will give the answer. And actually, that is how that is a basic assumption of counseling. They should come up with the answer. So I always ask them, okay, you are not getting good marks, ma'am, parents ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, teachers ऐसे बोल रही हैं, what do I do? मेरा assessment करा दो. And I tell you, I have full doubts that some students who want to leave maths desperately, they go for the assessments and do badly in the maths exam. Because there is no other criteria for physical examination to hang into X-ray में आ जाएगा. Everything is based on your performance. So sometimes, parents also say कि मैम कोई नंबर दे दो कहाँ पे assessment कराना है, मैथ्स छुड़वा दो बस इसका, assessment report हम बाद में दे देंगे. And I keep wondering, without assessment report, how can I, give you the exemption? And many times these assessment centers also call us back saying that मैम क्या करूँ, बहुत pressure डाल रहे हैं कि मैं लिख दूँ dyscalculia. So there are all kinds of parents. For some parents, maths की वजह कोई life नहीं है, and for some parents it is like this. So I always tell them, if you're not getting good marks, what do you think? What you were doing wrong and what you could have done? So I always tell them कि center line बनाओ और जरा लिखो. Penning down things is sometimes very, very important. It crystallizes their thoughts. क्योंकि जब वो बोल रहे होते हैं तो यहाँ पे बहुत कुछ चल रहा होता है. They are not able to find the links. The moment I tell them that you start writing it down, whatever you are saying, they get their answers on them. Okay मैम, थोड़ा सा मैं ये कम कर देता हूँ. अच्छा मैं practice नहीं कर रहा हूँ, अच्छा मैं practice और कर लेता हूँ. So the moment they start penning it down, that what else could I have done, so they get their answers.
उसको बताने का एक तरीका ये भी हो सकता है कि जैसे कई बच्चों से एक दो बच्चों को मैं जानता हूँ जिनके पेरेंट्स से मैंने से पूछा कि इसको तो बच्ची को